Hello, everyone. Hank Miller with the Hank Miller team. Let's do a visual look 10 years back on some key indicators for the Atlanta market. And we're looking at Cherokee, Cobb, Forsyth, Fulton, and Gwinnett counties. And the first chart will be the number of homes listed and the number of homes sold. And that's broken down mainly by year, the January of each year. And you can see fairly predictable peaks and valleys, and it's kind of regular until we see the drop off in COVID. Right before that, we had interest rate spikes and things slowed a bit, but then we had that absolute crater, which began around March and April and literally has not come out of that. You can see how tight supply and demand got right there as COVID came to an end. Mess. It's a mess. And right now, sellers are firmly in control and taking full advantage of it. Buyers having a real tough role. And this is another good indicator of supply. Months of inventory considers how long it would take for the existing stock of homes on the market to sell at the same pace they have been over the last year. About 6 months is considered average, balanced market. We were 10 years ago close to 9 and 10 months, big buyer's market. Steadily dropped as we came out of the recovery. You can see for the most part, we were running with a slight edge to the buyers until again, COVID hit and then all hell broke loose. So we are firmly entrenched in a very, very strong seller's market. And again, this is as of the beginning of March of 2022. Days on market, you can see again, those are the averages. We like to stay between that band, and you can see what happened when COVID hit. The absolute bottom fell out. Homes are going on the market and under contract within just a couple of days, sometimes same day or next day. So it's pretty tough. Again, buyers in the market know this. Sellers obviously do as well. Most homes in the area we're looking at, these counties, sell close to list. Even years back, they were running in the high 90s. You can see on this chart how it trends up, and then you can see what happens again once COVID hit. We're in a spot where we've come off over list, and we're still seeing a lot of properties at and over list. This is just a zoomed in version, if you will, of the numbers. More of a recent gives you an idea of how the fluctuation is during the different seasons during the last couple of years. Obviously, again, the crater. You can see how tight the number of listings to the number of sales is. And these are record lows right now on both number of sales and the number of active listings in these markets. So it's tough. I'm not telling anyone anything they don't already know. If you're out there, you know this. Old news. All right, now we're looking at price. We all know this relationship, and you can see list prices and actual sale prices, how they're going intermingled here. This area was for the first time where we saw purchase prices running up over list there just briefly. And then we saw a couple of weeks and a couple of months actually where purchase price was over list price. They don't tend to run parallel. There's always a time lag, but just know that list price is easily being reached right now in this market. You remember Occupy Wall Street. Well, Wall Street's occupying real estate right now, especially in Atlanta. Institutional investors are down here in force and are direct competition with home buyers in and around Atlanta, especially at that first time price point. 1 out of 4 sales in Atlanta in this general market in 21 went to investors. Significant competition. And in some cases, new communities are being built straight rent to own. So they are firmly ensconced in the idea that people will be forever renting homes. And if it keeps going the way it is, that's certainly possible, because I've run across first-time buyers that have no chance of buying a home. This map is a great map because it shows you where most of this investor activity is. Mainly to the north side is generally higher price point, which means it's less likely to fall into the investor hands. But when you go around the outskirts, east, west, and south, big time investor presence. And in those areas, buyers are going to be competing even more with these investors. And we're talking Wall Street to mom and pop. It's an across the board kind of a thing, and something that is definitely and has been for years a factor in the Atlanta market. Well, unless you've been sitting under a rock for the past 2 years, everything has been upside down. Coming out of COVID, now we're hitting inflation, record inflation, brutal inflation. And what did you expect coming off a sugar high where government's handed out checks to everyone? Everything is convoluted right now, and it's having an impact. It's having an impact on the economy. It's already stressing the supply chain issues that we had. So this is directly going to influence housing, because housing is a big part of the economy, squeezing the buyers. It's making it even more difficult. Well, those buyers are not finding any solace in rent relief, because rents are absolutely out of control as well. And that's the conflict right now that some home buyers are having. Do I suck up this increase in rent, or do I try to jump in and fight my way through this market and buy a home before rates go up? But the choices are not good, but the squeeze on the economy and the squeeze on the average consumer is brutal. Right now, gas is, I think, at $3.70 and pushing, with Russia invading. And the Fed is watching this. The Fed's role is to control the economy, and now they're talking about interest rates. They will go up, last I heard, over the next week or so, at least a quarter of a point. Now, again, the war in Russia, in Ukraine, is going to have an impact, because that's going to spike gas, and around we go. And it's a perfect example, because we don't know what the hell is going on. From week to week, things change. All I can speak to is the inventory and the conditions as far as real estate goes. We're constantly watching that. The rest of this, it's a total wild card. So if you're out there, believe me, I know and I feel your pain. Call us. Let us know what we can do to help you. Hank Miller team, there's our info right there. We answer our phone. We answer our emails. We answer our texts. I'm here. Throw me a question. We can talk about whatever you like. Be good.